Yo, how's everyone doing? Welcome back for some more Forza Horizon 3. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the Noble M600, and this is probably going to be one of the most interesting reviews that I ever do, but I'm going to show you this car in the Forzavista, share with you some racing gameplay, and let you see plenty of free roam gameplay because you really need to hear the sounds of this thing. This thing sounds absolutely astonishing. I love the sounds of this thing. It's absolutely crazy, and I just bought this car last week during the Forzathon event where we had to spend 200,000 credits to complete one of the challenges, and this was the car that I got when I completed that challenge, and I am very happy that I did. I'm very happy I got it, and it is a very reasonably priced car, and I actually just saw a Drivatar driving it around, and I was like, wow, that thing looks really good, and it sounded pretty good, and once I really drove it, I found out it sounds amazing, and the car also looks very good, and it's designed very nicely. I really like it, and this thing has a twin-turbo V8, which is actually made by Volvo, which is very interesting, so definitely packs a good punch, 600 horsepower and torque. It's rear-wheel drive, and it's at the bottom of the S2 class, but I mean, in terms of looks and sounds, and also just the way this thing drives, it is a ton of fun. The car launches pretty well. The problem is, though, first and second gear are very short, so it kind of feels sluggish because of that, and you certainly get a lot of wheel spin in first gear, but right when you shift into second, you have full grip. But the problem is the car also shifts very slow, so it can feel a little bit sluggish, but this thing makes so much power that top end, it is very good. It accelerates very fast in third, fourth, and fifth gear, and obviously sixth gear, we're starting to get up towards the top speed, which the top speed of this thing, it says is 235, but I really never even got close to that. The fastest that I've probably hit is just over 200, maybe like 210, so you're gonna have to go on pretty long straightaways to be able to get to the top speed, and that kind of makes this thing weak for the S2 class. And overall, like, the main problem I think is just the red line is so low, and it's about 7,000 RPMs, but it feels like you get there super quick, and the gears are just way too short. And yes, you can push past the red line, which I do a lot, but still, it just makes the car feel very slow, and plus it shifts slow on top of that, so launching the car, you know, it's got good grip, but the problem is it's just slow off the line. But it does pull pretty good in the higher gears, like I said, but without that top speed, it really does not matter too much. But the handling on this car is very good. It corners very well, and it turns pretty good, and the grip is good as well. You can certainly lose grip if you push it too hard, but overall the handling characteristics are very good, and the braking, it says, is a 9.7 on the stats, but I don't think the braking is that amazing. It's good, but it's not worth being a 9.7 in my personal opinion. But overall the handling on this car is very good because it corners very well, and the grip is very good, but it is rear-wheel drive, so it does have its limitations, but for how much power it has, the grip is very, very good for the launch and also going around corners. But just the acceleration issues with the launch, the way the car launches because of the gearing and everything, it kind of limits the car a lot. And although the car is fun to drive and it's pretty easy to control and it's a good rear-wheel drive car, the main issue, and this is where it gets very interesting, is that this is a hypercar, and this thing simply does not compete with all the other hypercars. There's so many all-wheel drive hypercars that are faster, that handle just as good if not better, and just completely outperform this thing. So that made me wonder, like, why is this a hypercar? I didn't even think that this would be a hypercar, so I did a little bit of research, and it turns out this is actually a supercar in real life, not a hypercar. So I was trying to figure out, why is it a hypercar in this game? Why is it classified as that? Because in the S2 class, and being a hypercar, this thing just does simply not compete with other hypercars. I tried so many races, and I had to lower my difficulty so much just to have a chance against the hypercars, and still most of the time I would not win. So you can pretty much not even race this thing against hypercars. This race that I'm doing right here is against anything goes, so there's only one hypercar here, and it's a Porsche 918, and this thing was right on my tail the whole time, and honestly, if I didn't stay in front of it for parts of the race, it would overtake me and I would not be able to catch it. So this car is a very fun car. It sounds very good, and it looks very good as well, but the problem is it simply cannot compete with the cars that are in its same class. Hypercars S2, you just have no shot. So for me, this is just going to be a cruise car, but let me know what you think of the Noble M600. But I gotta go now because you need to hear these sounds. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to y'all again very soon. Peace out.